Hello my friends, recently I've been getting tons of questions from you guys on how I achieve my more recent sparkly glittery eyeshadow looks. You guys seem to really love it, and I did switch up my eyeshadow routine style a little bit, so I want to share with you guys on how you can achieve this look for yourself as well. All the products that I will be mentioning in today's video will be down in the description box below, so you can check that out for reference. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I zoomed y'all up a little bit closer to really see what's going all up on my face. I don't have anything on. First step is always to prime your eyes. I'm going in with a MAC paint pot. This is the one in soft ochre. You can use any other eyeshadow primers that you have. The reason why I like soft ochre so much is because it helps to even out the discoloration on my eyelids while also providing that same tacky base so that my eyeshadow can stick better to the skin. The eyeshadow palette I'll be using today is the Unleasher Glitterpedia palette in number 2 olive brown. We're gonna do a neutral but glittery eyeshadow look. The reason why I picked this palette is because despite it having a very neutral color story, the textures and finishes you get in this palette is quite a variety for even like your mattes, shimmers and glitters, which will help you achieve that sparkly glittery eye look. We're gonna start building our eyeshadow base, so we're gonna go into this neutral light brown over here. I'm gonna take it on a fluffy brush. I'm just gonna pack it on like this, knock off the excess. I'm gonna work it across the eye sockets here. Alright, so I've added some shadow into my eye socket area. Now I want to deepen again my outer V, so I want to go into this orangey brownish shade with glitters in it. I'll go into it with a smaller, denser brush, something like this. Pack it onto the outer V area here. If you're wondering, Crystal, do you like the Unleasher, this palette over here? I do like it a lot. The mattes are not, say, super pigmented, but they're not like chalky or whatever. I think the pigmentation here is quite decent for daily eye looks. That's why I decided to use it for today's video. And I've gotten like really nice eye looks out of this palette as well. Alright, so far using the matte shadows, I've built up some definition and shadows around my eyes. Now we're gonna move on to the shimmers. So one of the key points when it comes to these glittery eyeshadow looks, and to ensure that your eyes don't look super stuffy or puffy or swollen, is to make sure to keep this first half or 2/3 of your eye as light, as bright, as glittery and shiny as possible. Try not to apply or spread the glitters all the way until like the outer V area over here, like the whole mobile lid, because when the light shines and the shimmers catches the light, so it reflects it, right? It kind of gives the impression that your eyes is kind of puffy and swollen all the way here. So keep the shimmer and shine to the inner half or 2/3 max of your inner eyes around here. That's why I kept it kind of bare at the moment. I still would like some color on the inner half, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a shimmer shade, this one over here. This is really like a pure shimmer shade. There is definitely some shine to it, but it's not like glittery shimmer shine, so this will add some nice base pigmentation, and I'm gonna apply it on the inner half or 2/3. As you can see on this eye, there is some shimmer and shine compared to this, but it's not so like reflective yet, right? So we're kind of like building layers upon layers of the shimmer and shine. So this is like kind of like the base shimmer shade. So basically what we're doing is exactly like skincare, but translated to shimmer and glitters. We're just gonna start going into the finer glitters first. So as you can see in this palette over here, this is the glitter, this is the glitter, this is a glitter, and this is also a glitter as well. But as you can see from the particles in the pan, you can see that the middle shade here is the chunky hunky one. So this is going to be our last step. So as I said, we're layering these glitters, right? We're gonna go in with the finest one first. So let's go in with this one over here. Again, I'm going on my fingers for this, and I'm going to start it on the inner corner right over here, and I bring it up. That another reason why I like this palette a lot is that even for the glitters, they don't really leave any like remnants behind. It's quite clean, I would say. All of the glitter is essentially transferred from your finger to your eyelid. There's no waste of product, so I do like that a lot. I feel like I could amp up the glitters a little bit, so I'm gonna apply a little bit more. So both eyelids now have this finer shimmer shade on my eyelids at the moment. Very, very pretty, very sparkly. If you want to end it off over here as well, I think it's really pretty. But we are going to go for the glitter, the chunky, honky glitters. Feels a little bit grittier in texture. So normally for this kind of grittier, harder, and also there's a bit of like gluey kind of texture to it, what I like to do is take a very short and dense brush like this. This is like a brush that was available in the Clio palette. Short, dense bristles like this. You don't have to dig your brush into it. All you need to do is you want to pick up some particles of the glitter. You don't have to like go in and just start going in there. But once you have picked up some particles, hold on. Yeah, some particles of the glitter on your brush, it's good enough already. Applying this really in the center area here. And we're just dabbing it, like bits of pieces of it here. You don't have to make sure it's like an opaque layer, like a even layer either. You just have to add little dabs of glitters. This area here where the glitter is at, it's really like there. What I like to do also is because of the way the light hits my face, I know that my eye sockets, inner eye sockets here will catch the light as well. So what I like to do is I like to bring the glitters up along the eye socket as well, so that will help catch the light and the glitter better. And of course, the chunky hunky glitter that we have over here in the middle is a must apply. Again, taking that same dense brush, gently pick up like some product. You can see I didn't even pick up a lot. It's just like that 1, 2, ooh, that look at the glitter and that, ooh, this is nice. Take this and you can apply it maybe on the high points, like right here. See where the light hits? Oh, that's a little bit high, but it's okay. We can make do. But I like to bring it like higher up around here. So that will give even more texture and dimension to my eyelids. Now if you were to wear it just like this and head out, I think it might look a little bit, I wouldn't say crazy, but it might look a little bit intense. So of course, I will highly recommend you adding some mascara, some foundation to just, you know, tie the look in a little bit better. But alone by itself, you can see how stunning the glitters look like on my eyelids. This is the wetness that I live for. Just a quick tip, I wouldn't recommend using a black liquid eyeliner for this look because I feel that for this looks very wet and shiny looking. I think if you would like to use an eyeliner, use a gel liner and maybe like a dark brown, make it tone down a little bit more and also just smoke it out a little bit. So I'm gonna do my other makeup as well and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, so I'm back with the rest of my makeup done and this is how the makeup looks like for today's look. I love the eyeshadow look. It really like doesn't scream for too much attention, but it does catches your attention when, you know, the light hits and everything. I'm just like, ooh, that's nice. It's like there but not really there at the same time. I do like today's makeup quite a lot. Maybe my lip tint could be a little bit more toned down. I am wearing the 3CE Water Fudge Blur Tint if you are curious. This is in Sepia. Some other quick tips that I kind of forgot to mention when I was doing my makeup. One, do your eyeshadow first. So in the event if there is any glitter particles falling on your cheeks or whatnot have you, at least you are able to clean it up and not disrupt your base makeup. I think it'll be much harder to kind of pick up the glitter if you had like your base makeup done and the glitter falls onto your cheek and it's a big hoo-ha. We're trying to avoid that, you know. Second tip is that you don't really have to own something like this. Of course, it would be nice to have, but I understand that not everyone is able to exactly exactly like get their hands on such a palette like this. Maybe kbeauty is not as accessible to you, or maybe you're a little bit tight on money, a little bit more financially conscious, which I totally understand. I'd like to give you another alternative in order to give the big chunky like glitters like this, right? I highly recommend liquid glitters like these. These glitters are the ones that I usually use in my other videos. In today's video, I just use basically a palette because it's like easier. The second tip is for those who are a little bit more financially conscious. You're like, Crystal, I love this palette, but not really that accessible for me, or it's a little bit too expensive when I convert it to like my own currency, which I like totally understand. Can I suggest to you something similar to achieve the chunky hunky like glitters like this? Check out liquid glitters like these. These liquid glitters are much more affordable compared to buying a whole palette like this, and of course it's just the chunky hunky glitters but in liquid form. So these are like liquid Korean glitter liners, and you can see that all the glitter particles are suspended in the bottle itself. This one is from Peripera and this is for Korinko. So these two are the ones that I've been reaching for in my recent videos. I did apply it. I also did a quick shot on it as well, combining it with like a Clio palette, so you guys can go and check that out as well. It's essentially like the same thing, but it's liquid form. So what you do for the application of this liquid glitter is that instead of using the dense brush like this with the chunky hunky eyeshadow glitters and like dotting it like this, it's exactly the same thing. What you do is you take it off like this and then you just dot it on your eyelids, again keeping it within the first half of your eye, and you'll more or less get the same effect. Let me know if this tutorial was helpful for you guys, and if there's any other additional tutorials you guys would like to see, let me know as well. If you're curious to know about my top kbeauty recommendations for eyeshadow palettes, especially for beginners, I did do a tutorial on it and you can check out the video right over here. This is the video I did a while back. I did about brush types, eyeshadow palettes recommendations, and as well as how I usually achieve like the older style of eyeshadow looks that I still do like to use. But for today's one, it's a little bit more glittery, a little bit more shimmerier. So if you're interested in that, I'll see you guys over there.